One of the most exciting parts of each NBA season is seeing which under-the-radar players will break out as stars throughout the year. I truly think the league is more talented than ever, and each team has hidden gems that are waiting to be uncovered. But today, I want to focus on 5 players who I feel confident will take a big step forward in development. These are the breakout candidates who I find the most interesting entering the 2023-24 NBA season. Before we get into the video, please consider hitting subscribe and sticking around for more NBA content. But jumping right into this, let's get the obvious one out of the way and talk about Cade Cunningham. I think most people will tell you Cade is capable of having a big season with the Detroit Pistons. The number 1 overall pick just 2 years ago, Cunningham played only 12 games in his sophomore season with a leg injury sidelining him for the majority of the year. But the brief signs Cade has shown us from college to his rookie season have most people feeling that Cade's ceiling is still incredibly high. The first thing that jumps off the screen to me is his feel for the game. Cade is a powerful, deliberate 6'6" guard who plays at his own pace and understands how to read a defense. Cade is really good at setting up his teammates and finishing at the rim. Ranking ahead of his entire draft class in playmaking and finishing talent as a rookie, Cade is a strong ball handler with a devastating ability to change directions, taking a larger defender one-on-one and adjusting his shot in midair to finish around the defense. He shot close to 60% in the paint and was averaging almost 22 points and 7 assists down the stretch of his first NBA season. Cade isn't the most explosive athlete, but he's a smooth operator and doesn't waste any movement. Here he takes Jaylen Brown off the dribble and uses his body to protect the ball and finish at the rim. Cade understands how to use his size to his advantage, posting up against a smaller player and converting a rare hook shot for a point guard. On this play, Cade pops around a screen and uses his body to shield Jaylen from getting back into the play. Cade pauses just long enough for Isaiah Stewart to run directly into Al Horford, opening up an easy layup opportunity. This is exceptional for a player who was just 20 years old in that clip, and now at 22 years of age, Cade is still younger than a handful of guys who were drafted in the first round this summer. The biggest thing holding him back is a shaky jump shot, with Cade shooting just 30% from the three-point line for his short career. But Cade's mechanics are solid, and he looks comfortable shooting the ball. And he's a quality free throw shooter, suggesting to me that it is only a matter of time before Cade Cunningham starts knocking down three-pointers at a respectable rate. This pull-up jump shot will make him a difficult player to defend, as he's always a threat to burst to the rim and finish over the defense.
Cunningham baseline. Oh! Cade Cunningham dunking on Kispert and the foul.
I won't get too high on the Pistons, but I think players like Joe Harris, Alec Burks, Bojan Bogdanovic, and James Wiseman give Cade some interesting and unique options to play with. And if Ausar Thompson is good enough on defense to help set the tone alongside Cade and Jaden Ivey, I think there's a slight chance we could see a surprise success story in the Eastern Conference. And speaking of surprise success stories, the Indiana Pacers seem to be everyone's favorite pick to be a breakout team, at least in the Eastern Conference. They have a load of talented young players, headlined by Tyrese Halliburton, who averaged 20 and 10 in his first All-Star season. Their veterans include Miles Turner, a quality, floor-stretching, rim-protecting big, and the addition of Bruce Brown gives them some versatility and a championship-proven talent to help fill the gaps in their roster. Throw in prospects like Andrew Nembhard, Jarrett Walker, and all-rookie first-team Benedict Mathurin, who I almost chose to focus this section of the video on, and the Pacers are bursting at the seams with potential. But I want to take a look primarily at Obi Toppin, who is a bit older at 25 years old, but will be in a prime position to break out as a valuable rotational player. I'm not sure where Toppin will fall in the Pacers rotation, but he is unlikely to be buried in the lineup as he was in New York, playing in the shadow of Julius Randle. There's a portion of Knicks fans who felt Toppin should have replaced Randle altogether by the end of last season. He averaged 21 points and 6 rebounds on 44% shooting from the three-point line in his 15 games as a starter with New York, and I think that's a decent indication of what kind of talent could be lurking under the surface for Toppin. He's a hyper-athletic, 6'10 forward with legit three-point shooting prowess. You stick him on a fast-paced team led by an elite playmaker in Halliburton, and Toppin is going to be spoon-fed easy opportunities to score, whether it be throwing down dunks in transition or popping on screens to nail three-pointers. Obi is a perfect fit in Indiana, and could make a notable leap if everything falls into place. While he still isn't a positive defender or much of a ball handler, the Pacers can offer Obi a refined role that should bring out the best in him.
It's the kind of threes. Toppin! Oh, quickly from way up top.
Now let's pivot away from the East to talk about another player who has been somewhat buried by his star teammates, and that's Jonathan Kuminga. Now I think Kuminga has plenty of flaws in his game that have held him back from being a mainstay in Golden State's rotation, but I can't help but wonder if he would be putting up solid numbers on a team with lower expectations. Kuminga will be 21 years old on October 6th, making him only about a year and a half older than Victor Wembanyama. Kuminga entered the NBA as an extremely raw prospect with high-end athleticism and touch around the rim, and so far, that's basically what he has been for the Warriors. Kuminga averaged 10 points on 53% shooting last season, bumping his three-point efficiency to 37% on very low volume.
To go, a turnover by Dallas. Kuminga racing ahead of the pack.
Kuminga can just barrel his way through defenders like a running back if necessary. But he also has Giannis-like mobility, going coast to coast and stringing together a hesitation move, then Euro-stepping his way to the rim for an and one. And Kuminga was one of the most impactful isolation defenders in the NBA last year. He's picking up Halliburton at half court with the game on the line, shading him all the way to the rim and stealing the ball. Again, with the game on the line, Kuminga switches and shuts off Jordan Clarkson for the block and rebound.
Three-point line, dribble drive, but no foul, blocked by Kuminga. And now Clarkson gets wrapped up.
Kuminga's versatility on defense is stunning. Here he is stifling Kyrie Irving on a pull-up jumper. And here he is blocking Anthony Davis at the rim in transition. Kuminga is big enough to navigate screens even against quicker guards, scrambling around Evan Mobley and forcing Darius Garland into a difficult floater. And as Kuminga matures and gains NBA experience, he is going to be a force on the defensive end. But he is still stumbling through the motions at times, especially on offense, with Golden State's read and react style proving to be a difficult one to master. Even Draymond Green has noted how much time it takes to become fully adapted to the Warriors' playstyle. So I don't think it's a major concern for Kuminga that it has taken some time for such a young prospect to look totally comfortable on the floor. But his athleticism has popped off the charts.
Remaining in the period, Kuminga.
The ferocity on some of these dunks make them just unstoppable. And he's so versatile as a defender, you almost forgive him for the occasional mental lapses we have seen that keep him out of games. Because again, Kuminga is still a baby in NBA years, with wildly high upside to become an elite two-way player if he starts to put these things together.
That was a tough strip. Simon sidestep, three, another big rebound, loose, Draymond's got it. Push ahead, Kuminga, soaring in for the lead!
Heading back to the Eastern Conference, I again think Franz Wagner is a popular pick to have a breakout season, and that's primarily because Franz is a player who can simply do it all. He's a 6'10 forward with ball handling, playmaking, three-point shooting, and versatile defensive capabilities. Wagner was behind only Evan Mobley in rim shot making for sophomores, using his length and crafty footwork to finish around defenders. And he shot 36% from deep on almost 5 attempts per game, with a fluid-looking jump shot and high release point. Wagner isn't necessarily great at any particular thing, but he's genuinely good at all of them. His height and reach benefits him as a playmaker, zipping passes over the top of the defense, and he's a switchable defender who can move his feet on the perimeter and rebound at a solid rate. Wagner was averaging roughly 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists in his second NBA season. A leap in one or more of those departments would have him knocking on the door to be an all-star. Even if the Magic aren't in a position to compete right now, I feel confident saying Wagner will find a way to be a big contributor on a playoff caliber team at some point in his career.
Now to Wagner, and Wagner finally finishes off a possession, this time with a slam.
Last, and maybe the most under the radar option on my list, I want to talk about AJ Griffin. Now, I don't think he's as breakout worthy as some of the other names on the list, and that's mainly because I think it might take another year or two before Griffin is truly able to shine. But his three-point shooting and size at 6'6" makes me excited for his potential in Atlanta. Griffin finished his rookie season shooting 39% from behind the three-point line, putting him in good company as one of the most efficient shooters in the league at just 19 years old. And while he didn't shoot the ball with too much volume, he shot above league average from all spots on the three-point line. And Griffin finished as the 41st most efficient shooter of all players to attempt at least 250 three-pointers last season. He's a blazing catch-and-shoot threat who can pull in motion and spot up from anywhere. And he flashed some on-ball creation with this smooth step-back jumper. There isn't much else to his game at this point, and Atlanta's over-reliance on Trae Young and DeJounte Murray will make it difficult for Griffin to hold more of a role on offense. But as he stands, I think Griffin is on a rapid trajectory to become one of the deadliest three-point shooters in the NBA. It might be tough for him to outpace DeAndre Hunter or Saddiq Bey in the regular rotation, but at 6'6", with this much talent as a three-point shooter, and all of the physical tools needed to be a positive defender, Griffin is a name to keep an eye on.
Young. Instead, they'll go inside, throw up, and he got it! He got it! He got it! I don't believe it! AJ Griffin at the buzzer!